What if I told you that a simple 1982 Washington quarter, something you might have in your pocket change right now, could be worth thousands of dollars and holds a hidden story of economic turmoil, minting errors, and a turning point in American coinage history that most people never knew even happened? The story of the 1982 Washington quarter begins in the shadows of recession, a struggling economy, rising inflation, and a country trying to find its financial footing. As the United States moved through the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was not only responsible for producing coinage, but also for adapting to drastic budget cuts, resource constraints, and a shifting public demand in circulation coins. The Washington quarter had already become a cornerstone of everyday commerce since its first release in 1932, created to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The quarter bore a proud patriotic image of the first U.S. president sculpted by John Flanagan, whose design had stood the test of time for half a century. By 1982, the coin was already an American icon, but this year would stand out from the rest, not for its design, but for the chaos and complexity behind its production. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change that would ripple through the coin-collecting community for decades. It was the year they eliminated the production of mint sets, a decision influenced by cost-cutting measures and declining collector interest in government-issued sets. This meant that coins struck for circulation in 1982 had no official mint set versions, making high-quality, uncirculated examples extremely difficult to find collectors who would usually depend on mint sets for. Pristine specimens were left to search bankrolls and pocket change. Adding to the scarcity was the issue of how the quarters were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. Both mints produced coins that year, but the Philadelphia quarters bore no mint mark, as was the tradition, while the Denver quarters were marked with a D. These two versions, however, came with a major twist. The Denver mint had significant issues with die wear and polishing, which led to numerous varieties and anomalies. One of the most famous being the 1982 D quarter struck on a planchet intended for another denomination. This leads us into the infamous transitional error, where some 1982 quarters were accidentally struck on copper planchets instead of the expected copper nickel-clad composition due to leftover stock and transitional mishaps from previous years. These error coins are rare and extremely valuable, some even weighing differently than standard quarters, causing sharp-eyed collectors to test coin weights and metal content with precision tools. The numismatic community quickly realized that 1982 was not a normal year for Washington quarters. Between the missing mint sets, the unexpected variations, the die deterioration, and the lack of consistent striking quality, the 1982 Washington quarter became one of the most complex and mysterious modern coins produced in the United States. Every coin had to be examined closely, every detail inspected, because each one could be unique in its own way. For a coin that was supposed to be a routine issue used in parking meters, vending machines, and lunch counters across America, it had instead become a puzzle, a challenge, and a potential gold mine for collectors. From doubled dies to off-center strikes to weak D, mintmarks, the 1982 quarter gave rise to hundreds of varieties cataloged by experts and still being discovered by sharp-eyed hunters today. The economy of 1982 adds another layer to this coin's tale. America was still climbing out of the 1980 recession. Unemployment was high, inflation was persistent, and confidence in paper currency and financial institutions was shaky. People were spending coins, not collecting them. The average American was not focused on mint marks or planchet composition. They were focused on gas prices, food costs, and job security, which made the survival of high-quality quarters even rarer. Coin dealers in the early 80s were not anticipating how significant the 1982 quarters would become without mint sets. The only way to obtain these coins was in circulation, and even those often showed signs of wear from daily use. Decades later, these coins in mint state command high premiums, with some MS-67 examples selling for hundreds to thousands of dollars at auction due to their scarcity and condition sensitivity. But beyond the numbers and the collector market lies a deeper historical value. The 1982 Washington quarter stands as a symbol of how small changes in minting policy, economic factors, and human oversight can turn an ordinary coin into a rare treasure. It reflects the real-life impact of federal policy on numismatic production. It teaches us that sometimes what is missing, like a canceled mint set or a missing mint mark, tells a more powerful story than what is present. This was also a year where private third-party grading services began to gain traction as collectors sought ways to preserve and certify coins of increasing value and subtle variation. PCGS and NGC became vital to the coin industry, and their population reports on 1982 quarters today show just how rare high-quality examples are compared to other modern coins. The 1982 quarter is an outlier, a survivor of minting austerity, and a relic of a changing time. Many collectors are still unaware of just how much historical weight the 1982 quarter carries. They see a coin that looks like every other Washington quarter they've ever spent. But if they knew the backstory, the abrupt mint set cancellation, the flood of errors, the pressure of recession-era production, the undervalued importance of that year's mintage, they would see not just a coin, but a chapter in American economic and minting history. The Denver and Philadelphia mints each had their own unique challenges in 1982. The Philadelphia mint was struggling with coin press maintenance and labor, shortages resulting in weak strikes, inconsistent rim definitions, and incomplete design details. Many Philadelphia quarters from that year appear flat or soft in their features, especially around the hair and eagle feathers, making strong strikes highly collectible. The Denver Mint, on the other hand, faced rapid die erosion and the repeated use of aging equipment, which led to some of the most dramatic die cracks, die clashes, and repunched mint marks seen in a modern quarter series. Both mints were pushing production to meet circulation demands while cutting costs wherever possible, which meant quality control was not always top priority. As a result of this rush, numerous dramatic error coins entered the market, including broad-struck examples, off-metal planchet strikes, and partial collar strikes, many of which command huge prices among error coin specialists today. Some of the most valuable 1982 error quarters have fetched over $10,000 depending on rarity and condition. Collectors often refer to the 1982 quarter as a sleeper coin, a piece that for years flew under the radar only later to be recognized for its rarity and complexity. It has become a key date for modern quarter collectors and a must-have for anyone building a full Washington quarter collection from 1932 to present, because missing the 1982 would leave a gaping hole in the historical narrative of the series. This coin also had an unexpected impact on the metal composition awareness among the public. With transitional errors popping up, more people began using precise weight scales and magnets to detect what kind of metal a coin might be made from. The average person became a metal analyst in their own right, thanks to coins like the 1982 quarter. As time went on and more coin roll hunters shared their finds online through forums, videos, and coin groups, the legend of the 1982 quarter grew exponentially. Today, its reputation is solidified as one of the most essential modern coins to examine. Every single 1982 quarter you come across could be worth a fortune if it shows the right anomaly or condition. The 1982 Washington quarter is more than just money. It is history forged in copper, nickel, and controversy. It is a story of transition, recession, minting experimentation, and collector revelation. It proves that in the world of coins, rarity is not always born from low mintage. Sometimes it is born from forgotten decisions, overlooked policies, and unnoticed errors, and those are the coins that truly tell the hidden stories of America. And that is why every collector, every coin enthusiast, and every student of American history must pay attention to the 1982 Washington quarter, because in your change jar, purse, or coin roll, there could be a piece of minting history waiting to be discovered.